Battle out they will. So, I don't know if you guys have seen lately or not, but we did change the name of the Twitch channel. No longer is it College Halo _ GG. It is College Halo League. So W to all of the producers who worked hard to make sure that we actually sound more official instead of that _GG. But we are getting into the game now. As Kish, messing with things and making things a little bit backwards. We are actually on the POV, I believe, of RIT, not Montana State.
That is correct. What a fix. So quick. Kish is just that guy. Right now, no one really playing for ball just yet, trying to get the initial slays. Blaze getting the first. Kind of a split right now, middle of the map.
A little bit of a split, yeah. Montana State not getting any kills just yet. So far, the scoreboard is heavily in favor of RIT as they do have the ball as well, moving towards back A. As we watch Gamer Changer get taken down and Blaze Fame just decides to get the heck out of Dodge. But Macaroni, actually, no, this is Insane Orca with the camo. Not Macaroni, sorry about that. But Insane Orca with the camo, already 3-0. But here comes a big push from Montana State.
And this camo could be everything, stopping that push, but crosses are coming through. The camo could get dropped early. I don't know if they're going to be able to use this camo very much, but Orco trying to play his life. He's doing it well. Ball not being in the hands of Montana State just yet. They're winning all the fights that they need to.
That's winning all the fights and more. Insane Orca with a killing spree, 5-0 now, and more ball time in the hands of RIT, and the Bobcats just trying to make an effective push into their side of the map. That will be one. Insane Orca finally gets taken down, no longer on that killing spree. He gets sent to the grave screen, but we are going to be watching Mid Oreo Crisis, a stronger player for the Bobcat squad, trying to make something happen, gets taken down and falls down to the ground, and Angel lost his wings.
Huge kills coming through. RIT Orange still able to hold this ball. They are collecting time quick. If you're Montana State, you got to start making a move here. I think it's time to slow down for just a second. Make sure you get your 4 up. They're all alive. A team push is going to have to come in quick. 20 seconds left on this camo. Are they going to try to back up here? Maybe take some of this time. They know that they're losing this ball time, but maybe the play for camo more important in their minds right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, we all know just how important camo is. It's the only power up on the map, on a map like Streets, and if you cannot get camos, you're going to struggle very hard in order to be able to make something happen. However, speaking of things that are happening, the Bobcats finally get a 3K. It's just Darren all by himself inside of A. He takes down Gamer Changer, but he is not long for this world as Macaroni is going to be able to clean that up, and finally the Bobcats got some ball time.
Ball time is what they needed. They're getting it, but the spawns are coming in. RIT looks like they want to push right back into this fight, and ball has to be tossed. 2 going down from Montana State. They're trying to fight back every way that they can. Ball time not being picked up just yet. There it is.
Yeah, they're trying to fight back. Shout out to Thug Nasty. He was the coach, I believe, for NView, one of the top 3 teams inside of that last Halo World Championship. So thank you so much for coming in and saying hello. And the names are correct. Thank you so much, Kish, working very hard. He was just a little confused, but he's an old man, got a bunch of kids. We give him a break every once in a while as much as we can, but easy fix. Easy fix
Indeed. An easy fix for Montana State right now. Finally getting some more ball time on the board. But it's almost a little too late. You got to think they're going to have to have a huge hold here. Only 13 seconds needed for RIT to close this first round out.
13 seconds, but they first have to get their hands on the ball. That is the objective. However, a great start as RIT looks like they have finally broken through the Bobcat defense, and Macaroni is all that is left, and he is forced to hide as the rest of his team fell around him. Now trying to make a push, but that is a red laser beam being shot at. Mid Oreo Crisis taking down Blaze Flame, and Insane Orca trying to rally his team saying, hey, look over here. But the rest of his teammates, they're doing the work.
Doing the work indeed. Finally picking up the ball again. A back smack potentially coming in. Oh, we just missed the sticky. Soap is crying right now. If Soap's watching, I know he's crying. He's wishing that stick would have hit. But that is going to do it for round 1. RIT taking the first round of oddball. Not over. we've seen a few moments here of Montana State looking like they could bring things back. They're going to have to do it very quickly, though, because if they let RIT start off hot, they let them get this start just like they did in this previous round, it could look dangerous.
It can. The Bobcats are going to have to hope that they get a little bit better of this opening break in order to push the pedal to the metal and put RIT on its back foot. However, all this poking and prodding is really doing right now is just giving RIT the map positions that they need. A big old kerfuffle scuffle happening inside of B pillars right now, but Macaroni is unfortunately going to be on the receiving end, sent back to the death screen. Gonna have to think about that one for the next 10 seconds, but Gamer Changer locking down this pink street sights, but right underneath his nose, Blaze Flame is going to grab the oddball and bring it right over to him. Several grenades come down and explode, lots of damage, lots of death, and RIT are left reeling.
RIT first spawners coming back up, and you got to wonder, this is exactly like I was saying, the opposite now. Montana State, with the start that they need, they're going to be able to get some time here early, maybe start to get a good lead. The earlier the better, because we've seen RIT have some huge holes in this first round. I almost think we need to drop ball here, just start slaying out. We need to try to win some gunfights. 1 dead on the feed, 2 dead in the feed. RIT all alive for the moment, but trades are starting to come through.
Trades are starting to come through, but the gas pedal is being slammed down by RIT, and that'll be 3 dead for the Bobcats, and nobody is left to grab the ball. It will be Pure Leaf who's going to be holding the ball that time, but you're absolutely right. I think Montana State just needed to drop the ball there a little bit earlier to focus more on the team fight instead of trying to focus on getting those points, because that lead has already evaporated.
Pretty quickly. Look, I would love to know who the sub is here. I mean, RIT doesn't look bad at all, and they're supposed to be playing with a sub right now. And sure, Darren might be having a little bit slower of a game, but overall, they look like they've been playing like a team. They look like they've been playing together for years, and they're playing beautifully right now, trying to get the kills that they need to be able to pick this ball back up.
Whew.
And they do just that.
Bobcats go 3 dead again. Mid-Oreo Crisis trying to do what he can. Most of the team for the Bobcats are still relatively even, but it's really just those deaths that are kind of putting the nail in the coffin. Only a few seconds of separating these two teams, but as we look at the game timer, it is slowing down just a little bit. It's getting less and less each second that passes, but as long as the Bobcats can make a good push, they might be able to grab this camo and make something happen. Mid-Oreo Crisis with a big old flank, putting some shots down on this thing. Orca getting that last shot, also going to touch the ball for a good measure, but unfortunately for him and the rest of his team, Blaze Flame is the guy who's going to grab camo.
And RIT coming in with this camo. This could be huge. This could be everything. Camo starting to be played. He could get a free kill here if he's able to look towards tires. I love the way he's playing this, though. I'm going to be honest. I would have just trolled right there. I would have thrown my life out there. I would have lost the camo, but he does so much better. He gets another kill off of that, and RIT still able to play this ball, rotating it around beautifully, knowing where these spawners are coming in.
Ben, you're just one of those players who's like, if someone crosses your screen, you're pulling right trigger, you're shooting your gun, bullets are going to fly, and regardless if it's a good idea to do so or not. But great patience from RIT in order to maximize that camo use as much as they can. Good pre-nade from Darren as well, the substitute that you called out earlier. Already with a nice tactical mindset, but the Bobcats are hanging way too long to make a push here, and unfortunately for Mid-Oreo Crisis, couldn't get the backsmack on Darren as well, but that will be a trade at the very end. Great life from Darren, the substitute for RIT.
Few shots coming in. This is a huge hold right here, because you know that RIT's teammates are spawning out. They're going to start to be able to cross, make plays. Pure is doing it beautifully, just keeping damage across the map, playing his life. They might be able to trap Montana State here and ensure that they can close out this round, but as I say that, a kill comes through. Crosses are coming through. Pure can't do anything. He ends up getting one himself anyways.
Massive position for Pure. Great positioning by Pure. You were talking about it, and I have to agree. Pure hanging out in that B rail, such a devastating place to be, especially if you're trying to cross and flood through pink side. So unfortunately, in very quick fashion, RIT going to go up 1-0 in the series, and the Bobcats, looking a little shaky, unfortunately.
We actually have been. I mean, I won't say anything here, right? We'll keep it professional, but there has been a little bit. The best part is I don't even have to try to fill air with any of that drama because we are starting map 2 right here. RIT picking up the snipe to start off. Really no chow for the snipe out of Montana State. Kind of wondering what they decided to do on their breakoff here.
Yeah, so they decided to move over to the green side pillars, but things are a little bit slow for the Bobcats, and I think that's kind of been what's been hurting them a little bit too often, just a little too slow to capitalize on some of this damage, on some of these deaths as well. We do get a massive fight outside of big door, but as you can see, no one's pushing across mid door into A to clean up some of these damage, to clean up some of these one-shots, as Blaze Flame is just going to get out of jail, finally getting taken out, and there we go! A nice 3K for the Bobcats, and Ritzier Axe has himself a sniper rifle.
And this is a huge start. This is the start that Montana State needed. They needed to start off hot so that they could put RIT back on the back foot here. And it started off looking really good. Now a kill coming through, and RIT starting to hit the shots that they need to potentially bring this back. What was a nice lead has now been closed to only 1 kill. 6-5 lead for Montana State.
Again, just too slow. They're staying in one position for way too long. You already know all of RIT, they're on the same comms, they're on the same page. But we get a massive fight inside of A as Pure is going to retreat and run away and reposition instead of continuing to press that fight. But all of the Bobcats hanging out inside of A. Insane Orca does get flanked inside of Keydor and taken down. And Blaze Flame, with a little help from the rest of his team, are going to continue to try to put down damage. But here comes the flank from the Bobcats.
I love this positioning. Trapping 2 guys into A. RIT think that they have everything under control, but Montana State coming with a flank once again, getting the damage that's needed for the kills, continuing to slay out. This lead is continuing to grow. This is what we were talking about earlier. Montana State needs to start off hot. They need to just punch RIT in the mouth early, and they're starting to do it.
And they're starting to do it with their team leader, Mid Oreo Crisis, with a little help of Macaroni as well, as he just gets that kill on Pure outside of back green. But we have Gamer Changer who's going to reposition and take that spot while Macaroni gets his shields back. But we have another sandwich attack coming out of RIT. Kills are going out, kills are getting traded, but it's for now the RIT Tigers who are going to stay a lead. Macaroni going to clean up Insane Orca, as Darren is just going to watch his friend get taken down. He does receive a stick in the tummy, courtesy of Ritzier, going to hand deliver that one right into his belly, and that will be 2 dead for RIT, and the Bobcats continue to hold on to this lead.
They're keeping the lead, but as I say that, RIT getting a beautiful kill to kind of cut this down to 3. It's 1 team wipe away from a lead change. RIT know this. They're going to start to play towards this camo, or towards the sniper, I should say. It's going to be very important if they can play this correctly. They had it at the start of the game, not able to do much with it, but they know what Montana State can do with it.
Montana State just really holding strong there as well. We get a little bit of a delayed melee from Gamer Changer, you know, nothing bad about that one, you know, just he was just eager to make sure that that was a dead kill. And honestly, looking at the kill feed, is still showing up all blue, all in favor of the Bobcats, as the Bobcats continue to hold on to their momentum, not letting RIT get settled whatsoever. But Insane Orca finds himself behind the member of 2 Bobcat teammates, as Mid Oreo Crisis is going to turn around and address that, but he is still left alive inside of this tower. And he also gets a drop on Mid Oreo Crisis, who's trying to play on dice, but he is going to get out with his life. And as you can see, RIT are just not able to get any of these kills and finish them off, but they finally do get a couple in bottom mid.
Just as soon as they're getting 1, Montana State seems to be getting 2. This lead continuing to stay in Montana State's favor. You got to think this is almost the complete reverse of what we saw in map 1, where halfway through we were talking about how Montana State needed to try to get some speed, get back into the motion of everything, and now we're looking at a completely different game. Montana State are absolutely shooting right now. I got to shout out Macaroni. The man is 10-2. He is not dying.
If you remember that medal from Halo 5. But yes, he is the top gun of the match. First one to 10 kills, which is huge for the Bobcats, as they haven't really pushed that aggressively. They've just let RIT push into them, and they're just using the combined arms with grenades and bullets and just overall damage to whittle down the shields of these Tiger players and taking them off one by one, and it's working.
It's working so well. It seems like the positioning is just there for Montana State. They're where they need to be at the right time every time, it seems like. When RIT thinks that they have them trapped in a corner, there's all of a sudden someone where they need to be, but the push starts to come through for Camo. I think that did get burned, if I'm not mistaken.
Burned, and unfortunately for the Bobcats, the one time they decided to aggressively push for an objective, RIT all but sweep them off their feet and take them off the board. 23-25. RIT still trailing by 2, but that lead is getting chipped away 1 kill at a time. 26-24. The Bobcats still in it, still in the lead. Now 27-24 as they continue to get kills. Mid-Oreo Crisis gets himself a double kill and a perfect 5, and also with the help from Macaroni, almost gets himself 3.
Still a 4-point game, though. Montana State continuing to get the trades that they need to keep this alive. QT plays coming through, but Rick gonna shut that down. Pure finally getting some shots in, trying to lead this team back into this game. Only 3 kills down now. Sniper back into Rit's hands. It feels like they've had it all game. Blaze able to hit his shots, and now this is a 1-kill game. They need to play their life smart here, and I think that they could take this lead.
They could. With a dual squad of Mid-Oreo Crisis and Macaroni trying to make things happen in bottom mid, it's not going to work as they get shut down inside a pillar door. And RIT look like they're playing the game that Bobcats were playing before, and now the Bobcats find themselves playing the game that their opponents in RIT were playing. So now things have gotten into a weird position where the roles and the tactics and the strategies have just flipped on the head.
It almost feels like we're watching the calm before the storm here. Everybody trying to back up, just playing so patiently. But as shots start to come through, it feels like a team fight has to be coming at some point here. We're starting to see kills come through, though. Montana State able to get 2 for themselves. Now 3, potentially all 4 going to be dead. A trade does come through. 31-34 at the moment. Montana State able to take that lead back, and it's getting close. It's getting very close. I'm going to be honest. Before this series, I did not think that I would be seeing a 34-31 scoreline here.
Neither did I. Honestly, not from that game 1 stat line, right? Where RIT was just heavily outslaying the Bobcats for most of the match. However, nowadays, it looks like Mid-Oreo Crisis and Macaroni have woken up and been the linchpin for this Bobcat squad to keep things together, to hold them together. And honestly, every single trade that the Bobcats are getting is going to work in their favor. Now, Mid-Oreo Crisis has a sniper rifle and put it to work. Only had 1 bullet, so no more left in the chamber to use. But as you can see, they are collapsing on that poor player who is isolated over by Turbine, but Insane Orca has the camo. He has to be careful. He gets spotted inside the bottom mid by none other than Macaroni, and Macaroni takes him down.
Macaroni continuing to do what he needs for this team. You got to look at Mid-Oreo and Macaroni. They're kind of just pulling this team behind them, but I mean, it's too close to call, man, because I wanted to say 5, but now 6-point game. Montana State looking to be 10 away from closing this out. If RIT want to be able to pull themselves back in, they've got to do something fast.
One of the unsung heroes from this game has to be the duo of Gamer Changer and Riskier Axe. Maybe not the biggest stat in this kills department. However, still putting out some damage with a combined 9 assists between the two of them. Not so bad inside of a Slayer game, where a lot of Slayer games tend to deteriorate into a series of 1v1 duels on disparate points of the map. But honestly, Mid-Oreo Crisis and Macaroni, a combined over 30 kills, 31 actually, if you want to total it up together. I mean, that's definitely paying off in his score as well. Another trade, but Gamer Changer takes down 2 with his death grenade. So very well played by the Bobcats so far. They're still playing this kind of slow pace, play together, let RIT push into them, which I actually kind of like, because RIT, they're down in its Slayers.
I agree 1000%. This is their opportunity to realize, hey, we're just playing for trades. We need 8. They need, I'm not even going to do the math, plenty more. They need 13. There we go. Look.
W math.
The W math. Look, it's been a while. I graduated a while back. I don't use that stuff anymore. But the kills continue to come through. A 4-point lead still for Montana State, but a kill could be coming through here. 3 kills separating these teams right now, and RIT could pull themselves back into this if they are patient. All 4 players up for both sides now. It's really going to come down to how well they can take this next team fight. Camo is a factor.
Camo's a factor and might be the last camo of the game as well, depending on how the game goes. But Mid-Oreo Christ is trying to do what he can to put some pressure on these two players inside of Turbine, as RIT have just clumped up and clustered around this camo. They definitely want to grab it, but they do have an S7 to play with, as well as Macaroni receives a body shot from one of those high caliber APFSDS darts that gets tossed out by the S7. But again, another kill. Blaze Flame gets taken down by none other than Macaroni. And these two have honestly just been doing so much work for the Bobcats and the Tigers. They do have camo, they do have the S7, but time is starting to be a factor as we are down to less than a minute and a half in the game left.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can see a game go down to time here. As close as it is, it really feels like neither one of these teams wants to be the first to push out. All of Montana State playing into this back A side of the map, and they know that this camo is moving.
Oh, if they take him down, that's huge, actually.
Oh.
But here comes the flood from RIT. He's still alive as well. Oh no! It's a all but team wipe for the Bobcats, but Macaroni getting a sneaky trade at the very end. However, he does pay for it with his life, and now with 43 seconds left in the game, the Bobcats are down by 1, and RIT are in the lead.
RIT trying to play the exact positioning that Montana State just had.
They have to
trying
push.
to back up. 30 seconds needed. This will be the final team fight to decide this game.
They're waiting for the flanks, though. They're waiting for the damage, and now the trigger has been pulled. Ritzier Ats has to drop away. He doesn't want to go down, but there's 2. Can they get a third? They can do. They get a third, 49 to 48. And Montana State's just one player left. It's just Blaze. He's all that's left in the back. He can't do it, though. And Montana State, after 14 games, have a win. It might just be. It's an unconventional strategy, but it worked and it played in the favor for the Bobcats. The Tigers were forced to try and make something happen to force plays from across the map, and they got burned for it. However, we're not playing Slayer now. We are playing Strongholds on Recharge. And can Montana State recreate magic a second time in a row? Or will the RIT Tigers take command and take control 1 point at a time?
Currently a 3v3, but now 4. Well, as I say that, kills continue to come through. Someone has a needler on the map.
Do we have the right map?
You know what?
Kish,
hey, look, if they don't
you
say
okay,
anything
brother?
about it, it
you
would
okay?
go,
Do we need
crazy. Kish
Well,
has spoken. He said if they want to play with it, let them play with it. If somebody comes out here with a mangler, I'm going to lose my mind.
We might. We just have to check the bottom mid. But going back to the game, it is going to be the Tigers who are continuing to score. Might even get a triple cap, getting double points. But Darren fighting for his life inside of B, playing Ringing Around the Rosie, and he is going to win against Ritzier Axe, a killing spree. 5-0, finally getting cleaned up by Mid-Oreo Crisis and Gamer Changer, trying to make things happen inside of A, but again, this extended team fight inside of B is just not going the way of the Bobcats, and they have to take a point because they are losing 2 points every second, and it's going to continue because Pure finds a nice headshot. He finds 2 headshots from across the map. Gamer Changer, you gotta stay alive. You gotta hide because Pure was heating up.
And when Pure's hitting shots like that, you got to think RIT is on fire. The comms are feeling good. They're shooting smooth. Right now, shots. Okay, now we're whiffing.
You're not Pure, Darren. You're not Pure, Darren.
The good nades, though, continuing to hit the nades that he needs to. Still scoring, but Montana State finally able to get a double cap. But as I say that, RIT on B can potentially turning this right back around into scores for themselves.
And now this is where I think
needing to get into this.
Yeah, I think this is where the slow play style from game 2 that the Bobcats were playing with, Ben, not necessarily going to help them out very much. They have to play aggressively now. They cannot play defensively. And as you can see in the kill feed, RIT, they are capitalizing on this. Insane Orca saw Ritzier Ats, who decides to get the heck out of Dodge, but going to be called out and delivered into the open arms of Pure Leaf. But Pure not going to push his luck. But Darren with the cross map play going to take him down, and once again, another triple cap as we are 128 points to 0 in this game 3.
Yeah, and as you say that, right back to what you were saying about the slow play out of Montana State, it's just showing right now they are being trapped into one side of the map, and because they're playing so slow to get out, RIT is able to just force them into the same spawns over and over. They are stuck with only one cap point at the moment. And look, if you don't know Halo, you don't get points with one cap point. You got to capture another stronghold point.
You know, as someone who can say that with so much confidence, being the skilled mathematician that you are, Ben, I can confirm that you are correct. 2 is indeed better than 1. And again, as we continue to look at the kill feed, it is just unfortunate for the Bobcats that they have not been able to get any momentum from across the map. Macaroni trying to stay alive inside of bottom mid, going to finally make his way over towards A stairs, but you got to be worried about what's there to receive him, as there is a shock rifle on top play as Darren, he recovers from the mishap from earlier and gets a nice one-shot headshot. And the rest of his team continues to do the work, continues to get the slays. Darren getting the Top Gun medal this time around. 3rd time's the charm. Gonna finally take down Mid Oreo Crisis with the last shot of that shock rifle. And we finally crossed the 200-point threshold.
Yeah, Montana State just still on the back foot, trying to get out. Macaroni with a camo play. Can he survive? Cannot. Darren able to hunt him down with the help of teammates. Kills continue to come through if RIT can keep these guys off the points for just a little bit longer. But as I say that, caps start to come in for Montana State on A and B, a potential point coming through. It would be nice to see a 1 put there. They just need a kill on A.
We got a 1.
Oh, we got a 1.
Whew. It is not going to be a 250 to 0 scoreline. The Bobcats got their 1, but they are still heavily behind in this Strongholds game as they are trapped inside of back gold and red pipes, and all of RIT are already in a strong defensive position. But we do see Pure going down over by C, and Insane Orca trying to stay alive inside of back C is going to get hunted down and taken down by Macaroni, but the rest of the team already made a push across A Cat into bottom white, and now they're going to push into tower. But hello, thank you for the back, as Macaroni going to take down Blaze with 1 punch to the back. But Darren getting the return kill, cleaned up again by Macaroni, who gets himself a double kill, and they finally have the 2 points, and they're getting some points.
We have double digits, ladies and gentlemen. We have double digits. Montana State would need an absolute miracle to close this game out. RIT, knowing they're only 3 points away, the push is going to have to start coming in here soon. You've got to think they're going to know where these spawners are coming in. But if we're whiffing shots, oh no!
Orca run, shaky, a little windmill.
Good nades coming through.
I'm gonna put that needler there. Cash, clean up your room. All right. That's going to be it, though, from game number 3. A commanding, dominating performance from RIT.
Yeah, I'll just kind of touch on that. We are 100% always looking for new teams. I mean, you can see right now Montana State, a team who just came in this previous season, and they're showing what it looks like to be a pretty decent-looking college Halo team. As I say that, though, we are going to start up RIT, getting 2 kills to start up map 4, and Camo's still up though. I thought RIT would have had this off of those kills, but Camo's still up for play. Potentially going to see Blaze try to go for it here. Okay, what are we doing, guys? Guys, where's the guys?
Oh.
Okay, we got Camo. We got Camo. I was freaking out. I thought we just weren't going to play it.
I mean, they're just playing safe, yeah. Making you're crossing their T's and dotting their I's, all right? Like let them figure out when they want to grab camo and when they don't want to grab camo. But we are looking at RIT already halfway, almost three quarters of the way done, capping this first hill. As Midoriya Crisis finds a nice flank, but whoa, where are those shots going into the ether? But he finally gets a kill on Insane Orca. Darren staying alive inside of back LR. However, he will get pushed away and comes back around as his shields are going to recharge. He's using the elusive camo to new heights and also going to get a double kill on Ritzier Axe. And with that 4 dead, that will be this first hill going to RIT.
Yeah, and just a quick look at Darren there when he was playing his life back LR. That was a beautiful play to get his teammates to spawn with him. Now they're already set up for this P2 hill. And really, you got to think, look at him now with a flank, potentially going to be the player to stop Montana State. And as I say that, 2 kills coming through for the side of RIT. Montana State all going into the kill feed. First up, going to be mid Oreo Crisis. They're going to have to try to get some sort of team play here to push back into this hill.
This hill, very, very difficult to push into. You have to cross. You have a lot of open space to cross in order to be able to get there. And that top gold position, definitely very, very annoying to deal with, as well as this player inside of Market and Flowers. However, it looks like Montana State are getting set up for their push, but so much damage as Mid-Oreo Crisis gets dropped to no shields by Macaroni taking down 1. Can they take down 2? Perhaps, maybe he does. But Blaze already wise to Mid-Oreo Crisis trying to play for his life. But getting some shots in the back from the respawners on the Bobcats mean that this attack more or less went nowhere, as that hill is going to be taken by the Tigers.
It does look just as that hill was being popped, Montana State might have been able to get that next camo up. I don't know if they got away with it or not. I do not think they were able to. It looks like the camo will be out of play. Yeah, even if they did. Thank you to the voice in my head. That is 4 dead in the feed. And RIT, honestly, just kind of waiting here to try to get some more map position so they can set up for this 3rd hill.
A little early as well to be trying to play for time. So far, at least in the Slay department, heavily outslaying the Bobcats. But I don't think that they really need to force playing for time, especially with little under 4 minutes left in this game to play. And it looks like they will decide to get on this hill as Pure takes down 2 before he dies. But Gamer Changer getting very, very aggressive on the flanks of these 2 RIT Tiger players. Has to be very, very careful, though, as we have Mid-Oreo Crisis is just going to run right up the middle like a dagger or like a knife, one of the 2. And he's going to take down these Tigers. They go 3 dead, and the Bobcats, they have some hill time.
Finally, getting the hill. This is what I was talking about earlier. They have an opportunity here. Now they can play their game. They can back up, play a little slower, make RIT run into them. But when RIT is hitting shots like that, Pure is getting the cross shots that he needs. And all are falling into the feed. 4 dead for Montana State. And RIT is going to take this hill right back into their own hands. Now looking for a chance to go up 3-0.
I mean, it's just too easy for the Tigers. I think Montana State just played a little bit too close to that hill. Not a single person went towards C-Plat, which you and I both know is a very popular flank route, especially on this hill, in front of Hotel and in front of Market. So a little bit of a mistake, I think, by the Bobcats, not aggressively pushing out and ensuring that they do not give these easy flanks to the Tigers, and Tigers go up 3-0 now.
Beautiful commando shots coming in as Mid-Oreo Crisis gets dropped. Trades coming through, but the kill feed is looking better for RIT right now as they continue to get all the kills they need to break this hill. I'm just going to call him Rizzler Axe. That's what it looks like to me. We're going to call him Rizzler. The Rizzler cannot hold on to the hill by himself.
You just can't.
And RIT will
I love the puns, though. It's good puns, Ben. W-Ben for the puns, guys. Everybody give a round of applause for the punster, the pun master, all right? Some would say that he is very, very punny, you know, but well done by Ben. Very, very good. But, again, it's just RIT as we have 3 members hitting double digits. The only one is their substitute in Darren, who hasn't quite gotten his 10th kill just yet, but he just needs 1 in order to be able to get there, and he does. A perfect 5, taking down Gamer Changer. Means that all of RIT are now going to hit those double digits, and unfortunately for the Bobcats, this is looking like we are going to head off into the sunset after delivering a promising game 2, just falling apart in these last few moments of this game number 4, and that is it. The swan song is over, the chapter has been closed, and RIT finishes out 3-1 in a 4-game series.